So good evening all and welcome to day 5 of this training. You are all welcome. So today we'll be actually looking at things more deeply from what you think you know. We'll be shedding more light to it. So while we're waiting for those to come, take your time to look at this. Okay. Since I don't know, was it 6 people? Um, let's not waste so much time. Let's just get started immediately. So as they are joining, we'll actually be picking up from there. So we'll be looking at things more intricately, and we'll be looking at how you understand what you keep saying. So that when you talk, we look spend some time on these essentials, then before we now move away from it. So we have done some things like this before. So if I ask, what is this? Hello, all. If you are here, please tell me yes. You are here. So I want us to actually, what is this one? What is this two? What is this three? Then what is this four? So they all have the name they are called. So let's be sure. Okay, good evening, Mr. Ilori. Let's be sure we know what we are saying when we're actually, because that little thing might just look as if. So can you name that? What are those stuff? So those are, let's just quickly take that out of the way. What is that? What is the two? What is three? What is four? Let's quickly take that out of the way. So you'll be looking at it here. So that's your terminal. So that first part is what? The terminal. The first block you see there, what is the terminal? Block 2, what is the current host name? Now block 3 is what? Is the directory part. Then what? Block 4 is what? The user, whether it's an ordinary user, a normal user, or is a super user. I'll repeat again. First one, block 1 is what? The terminal. So from here, this is my terminal. I'm in root. This is my host name. This is the directory I am. Then this is what? I am a super user. Now, if I change su Kali, you see that last stuff, it changes to dollar. I am a normal user. So when you actually are talking, like I said, people actually know if you know what you're saying by what you're saying. So please, I want to move from what super user to normal user. You understand? So if I want to move back to super user, normal user to super user. He asked me for the password. So let's start building the terms. I got it wrong. That's not the password. So I'm back to super user. So one is what? One is what? The terminal. Two is what? The current host name. Three is what? Four is what? Super user. Now, what command do we use to add what? Add user. So if I say add user, are you saying? So if I give it, so if I say su uche, I see now the terminal as that the terminal has changed to what? Uche, and the let me clear. So in this particular stuff, we have what? Uche as the terminal. I don't know if you are following me, please, so that we get this part sorted. That's what it's the first block. What is the terminal? Sorry, the first block is the current user, second block is the terminal. Like I'm mixing it up. The third part is the directory. So now it's Uche. I have changed to Uche. The terminal is actually Kali. Then directory, then either you are logged in as what? This is a normal user. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy. One is equals to what? Current user. 2 is equal to what? Terminal. 3 is equals to what? Directory. 4 user type. Normal user. Normal user. Or hashtag equals to super user. So I believe we've all gotten this part clearly. So change user Kali. It's wrong. Change user Kali. So I've changed to Kali. User is now Kali. Terminal is Kali. Directory is I'm still a what? Normal user. So if I actually change user to root, so User is root, terminal is Kali, directory is desktop. Then the last block is what showing that I am a super user. So if I clear, so you can see Uche and Kali. Those are the two users. So if you now that password, so we look at this in a jiffy. So now let's just wait here and actually analyze this part. So please, if you are following up to this stage, just let me know so that these are things you look at. Okay, now that stuff you are seeing, all these things you see, they have names. So let's look at what they actually mean. So I think it's here. So now you see those stuff you are seeing, they all have name. So sorry, Mr. Jesu put me screenshot. Okay. I've actually already sent the screenshot. So you see those things you are seeing, that is the breakdown. The first part where you see bin and bash is what? Your login shell. The sixth part is your what? Your home directory. So there are about seven. There are about seven. We have the home shell, we have the Jekyll's, we have the GID, we have the UID. Then you have where the password is there. Then you have what? The username. So let's use one of these as what? Example. I don't know if you are seeing my screen. Now, Uche is the username. The next thing following this is what? The password. Now, the next thing following is what? The user ID. That the last one is what? The GID. Then we have what? The JESCO. The last one is the home directory. Then what is left is what? The login shell. The login shell. So if I screenshot this so that we can actually label it. So this is what, from what we have here, Uche is what? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have 5 and 6, then 7. So let me copy.
Mr. Ikem, is this a shadow file?
Exit the password. You can't Etsy.password. That is where you get to this place. Sorry, I'm coming. Let me paste so that we get how we get to this place. Let me paste this first. Now, I don't know if you are just coming in. I was actually trying to treat here. So if let me just check if we now have a full house. What I'm trying to actually do is to actually make you guys understand. Okay, we now have a full house. So let me clear, and we come back to this place. Now, what I was trying to do is I started with what is this? What is this? What is this? And what is this? They have names. This is your terminal. Now, this is what the user, this is the current terminal. This is the directory. Then this is what the top type of user. Now we have logged in as what? A super user. Now, if I change directly to Kali, now the user is now Kali. The terminal is Kali. The directory is what? Root. Then the user type is what? Normal user. So actually, that's what I pasted. So if I change again, XU Uche, I created Uche. I think it's, I can't remember the password. Sorry, SU Uche. Okay, I've changed to Uche. Now the user now is now Uche. Terminal is what? Kali. Root directory is what? Kali. Then the type of user is what? I'm a what? Normal user. So this here, sorry. So you should be able to explain this anywhere you go to when they ask you a question. Okay, what are you, a normal user or you are a super user? Your super user, it means you are logged. Okay, should we create user? Okay, one minute. Let's just try that out. Let me create another user. Let me go back to root. This switch user root. That's what this means. So it will ask me for my password. I know my root password. So I'm back to root. Let me clear. So let me add another user. I had what? I had, let me add user Solomon. It will require that I actually create a password. Let me give him the same password. So we now have, so Solomon has been created. If I want to switch to user Solomon, I just write switch user Solomon. Are you getting it? It has changed. Let me clear. So now to see how many users you have, you can do cat etc dot what? Are you saying? So it shows you what? How many users you have. Now let's backtrack to what we learned the other day. I'm trying to actually just do this because somebody has actually. So Mr. Bola, do you now see how we create user? So you can add as many users as you want. So let me move to what? Root. Now let's clear. So let's see the dot. Now let's see that I'm back to home directory. See the dot. It takes me to the place where I can actually get to etc file. Now let me change directly to etc file. That is what you're actually seeing. Now let me change direct. Let's see. You see a lot of, so password should actually be in what? It should be a directory. So if I change directly to what? PASSWD. Okay, it's a file. So if it's not a directory, this is where you can actually do what? Now let's see what is in it. Let's see what is in it. Let me see ls.la paw. So this is what is in password. You will learn something today which I will not advertise. That's why we are very, we try as much as possible, because you will learn how to change this particular. If you come to the system and you want to actually remove this password from root directory, you will learn how to reallocate. You will change all these files now. So you know what we did formerly, you do ls.la. Now this is what you are doing. So you can actually look at it at the file level. You can change the root user. You can change anything you want to change. You can reallocate all the permissions the way you like to reallocate. You will learn all those commands now. So what we are looking at this place is what? The password file. As you can see, it's the username is group, the owner is group, and it is read write, and the rest are read only. So since you can read and write on it, which you know that you can actually do what? You can actually do what? Th mode. So you've learned a lot, but you don't really, if you want to change the mode of the password, you can do that. You can remove it from root. You can allocate, except the person has not logged into your system. In as much as it has logged into your system, it can do a lot of damage into the system. Those are the things you'll be learning now. So as you can see, let me go back to what the question is. Let me clear where we have, so that it's a topic we take. Now, what I'm doing is cat Etsy cat shadow. So all these things you are seeing, so sorry, it's cat's password, not shadow file. This the shadow file is the one that carries the hash. You know, all these things you are seeing, they have what? Name. They have what? Name. So that's what we are trying to actually look at. I'm trying to explain to you guys that the file you're looking at, they all have names. So the first one by the ending is what the username. So let's come here. In this case, this is my username. The next thing is what? The password. This is the password. Now, this is the user ID. This is the group ID. Now, this is the what? Share login. This is the directory. Then this is the Jet school. So I will actually just, maybe I'll share the with you guys later. But this is what it is currently. Username, password, UID, GID, Jet codes. It filled a lot of commands values. So when you say Jet codes, this is what this is home directory. Then this is what? Share login. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can pick it from here. So any day you should be able to explain this clearly to anybody. This is what? 1, the user. 2, the password. 3, user ID. 4, group ID. 5, Jet code. 6, all truths to are 6, the directory. 7, the shell login. So you must be able to break it down like this in detail to somebody. Okay. We only have two types of users. One, we have the common user at $. 2, super user hashtag. So the super user is what you call your root. Common user, because you know when you speak, the difference is clear. You know what you are saying. I'm logged in as a super user. I'm logged in as a common user. Username is what? Solomon. Are you getting it? The first one is what? The user. Second one is the terminal. Third one is the directory. The fourth one is what? The type of user. I mean root as a what? Super user. I'm logged in as user, root as what? A super user. So do we all understand it now? Do we all understand this now? Can we actually tell, can we break? Let's look at Uche. Let's try Uche. So you can actually take as much as you want with the copy. You can label this on your own, or you can just do it from your own end. Label and screenshot, please. Label and screenshot from your own end. Go to etsy.cat.etsy.password. Break it down and actually label 1, 2, 3. Now, the password you are seeing there, when you come to what? Clear. When you come to this place, what do they call it? cat/etsy/shadow. So this is your hash. So those passwords you see, this is the hash that is written in X. So if you come out to root is always at the top. I say root has its own password too. So when you get to the stage where you start doing password cracking or hash cracking, that's what they call the hash. We'll get to that stage. So what we're actually looking at is what? So that's basically what you need to know intimate about this particular lesson. I believe we can now actually all break those things. So you see, when you look at stuff, you should be able to actually know exactly what is in it, explain it clearly to people. Now, from here we are in what? If we come back, if I control C, so you navigate like an expert backwards. So we are back to root, but we are not in home. Now here, group user, group ID and J codes. Let me share the stuff for you people so that you can actually have the literature of it. Sorry, one minute. So I'm sure that answers your question, Mrs. Grace Adim. So you have your username, you have your password, you have your UID, you have your user group identification number. Then you have your jet schools. They mostly complex of comma. Then you have your what? Then you have your home directory. Then you have your login shell. So we should be able to break it down in this detail. Now let's still remind ourselves so that we don't forget. So that when you talk like a pro. Like this guy says, Brian Tracy says, you win by a nose edge. You understand? You win in life by a nose edge. There's not always a landslide difference because of the expression of information. Those little nonsense, this little attention to details make at the end make you stand out of the crowd. Now, this is what we are looking at. It still boils down to this. So we move from the root, down to the Etsy file. In the Etsy file, there is what the password. This is the password here. Are you seeing the password is under what? The Etsy file. The Etsy file consists of what? The cache login, the exports, what lots of them are there, but it contains what? The password. We still have the opt file and we have the x11 file there on the Etsy. So you keep meeting host specific system configuration.
So if we can get another one of this file, because even the one you share with us is blur. I've tried several times to see if I can see
Okay,
through it.
I have
Still very
shared this
blur.
particular. Let me just share it on the WhatsApp handle. I've
This one is
shared this.
this one I'm looking at is still blur. I don't
No,
know.
it's not blood. This one is not blood. Maybe because I'm using it on the system. This is the best you can get anywhere online, except you write it out. You write it out with your hand. Just try and download it first. This one is not blood. So Can you view it? Let me know your thoughts. Sorry. Or let me see what I can do. Is it clearer now like this? I think it's bolder, it's more legible like this. So if you are looking at under Etsy, under bin, you see cart, change group, change mode, shown. You'll be using that chown command. So anytime you are using chown, it shows you that you're under. So when you know all this echo, when you use on echo command, you actually know that you are what? You are under the bin essential binaries. You use what? The change cp copy command data dd df dsmeg echo false host name kill, that's process killing, ln login ls make directory, make od more mount move directory, print working directory, remove df seed dot sh, that's batch script, sty su sync true, umount uname. So all those stuffs are under what? The bin directory. So you can actually just open it on your browser and enlarge it. Now let's look at the cat, the Etsy file, or specific system configuration. So this is what makes you, when you talk, when they mention this stuff, it should be ringing in your head that this thing is under the bin file. This particular stuff that is under the Etsy file. That's why I said you should be able to draw this thing on your own. So as you are navigating the file system, you understand these things very clearly. So I don't know if we are happy and we can actually show me more before we move to the next, because what we are looking at is basically essentials. We're treating little things that you need to know in details. So we move to this part, file permissions, and we've taken it, but we're going to look it in depth more again. So you're going to be looking at a lot of things. Now we have ls. Now let me change directory back to. So somebody asked a question. I think I should just address it here. If I do like this, ls.la. So now all the ones you see with L or D with a what, like I said, they are directory. The ones that you see with what, minus, they are what? They are files. Like iPhone before it, they are file. Now like this ipsweep.sh, it is a what? It is a file. I can easily say ls.la ipsweep.sh. Okay, sorry, there's a mistake in the file. So it's showing me that we have already changed it to what? So I can just say change mode. You get to this stage now. So when I actually repeat this, you see, it is no longer I've changed the this thing. So those are how you, what we are treating now. We're actually treating what? File permissions, how you manipulate files from the back end. We are taking file permissions again, and you'll be looking at it intricately. We're taking file permissions again from the back end. So you can change anything to anything from the back end. This is the I've shared this. So we've shared this before. So these are things you should know. One, and I've explained this. But when people come to ask me question, it looks more as if they are cramming it. They cannot explain it in the standard international language. And you will stand before people to do interview. When you are talking, those are the things you should be telling them. When they ask you to do an explanation, if I want to move as a super user to an ordinary user, I want to change a file from code. I want to actually change a file from read write executable. You understand? The way you are explaining it shows that you have an in-depth knowledge of what you are doing and so on, and you can explain it in the standard industry language. That is why this particular class is necessary. What I just did by 111 is, was it? This 777. 6 gives you what? RW0. That 111 will give you what? 001. So that is what happened. Now, this other part, so I think you need to have the whole information in one piece. So we've talked about this. The first was the owner, the group, and the what? Others. Owner, group, and others. Read, write, execute. D equals what? Directory. So somebody who said he wants to actually color them in yellow and blue or white and blue. This is the way you actually what? Understand whatever you're doing. We'll go back. Mr. Bola, you want to ask a question? You are visible. I don't understand what you're saying. Say I am visible. What do you mean by I am not visible? Can you, or you cannot see my screen? Okay, the screen is blurred. Okay, let me reshare. Please, can you see the screen now? Can you see the screen now? Can you see the screen now, please? Mr. Banao, can you see the screen now? I just reshared this stuff. Can you see the screen now? But my screen is shared. Okay, please. Is any other person having the same problem?
No, I'm not having the problem. The screen
Okay,
is okay.
Mr. Banao, can you check the Mr. Adeleke Akiniyi? Are you having the same problem? He said it's blood. Okay, let me clear the screen. So we will spend little time on this file permission so that you let it sync. And please, if you don't actually play around with it, it disappears away. It's as if you don't know it. It's simple. There are simple things, but the simple things actually makes a lot. Now let's do something. This desktop. Let me change to desktop. I have some files on the desktop. Oh, sorry. We are not home yet. Now we are home. Let me clear screen. Let's move to desktop. So let's ask ourselves this question. So if I have some funny files on desktop, ls. Okay, good. Now, so this is what I have in grep3.txt. Now, can we remember our awk command? The awk command we did. You understand? Can we remember our awk command? Can anybody remember our awk command? What our awk command is? Can somebody actually remind us, refresh our memory on awk command? Okay, now, if you have a file, let's look at it that you have a file. Now, what and what command can you use to play around the file from what we have actually seen? Now, like I have this file called grep. I can ls.la. I look at grep3.txt. Like if I want to work on this file, sorry. Oh, I can ls.la grep3.txt. You see, it shows me it's a fully executable file. You understand? From that's what is actually showing me. You see, you now have enough tools to actually look at. Now I can print if I look in depth into it. Okay, cat grep3. You have enough command to be able to actually investigate a file .txt. Okay, I clear. I say awk open bracket, sorry, print $2 or $4, as the case may be, or $1 or whatever, $6. We don't need to start $6. You put your grep. So I think that handles that. So you see, you have enough stuff to actually extract. Now, if we now look at it, okay, you want to say cat. So you now have a lot of tools on your hand to see how you can actually pass and do. I think we still have a grep. If I clear very well, if I ls, so if I batch, Can't even remember IPO. So you see, you now have a lot of tools to actually pass through file. That's one of the bad scripts. That's one of the bad scripts. Root. Just 1 minute, please. Okay, so that is one of these bad scripts we have written. I'm just trying to tell you that you now have enough information and command to actually look into a file. Now, when you go back and look into that future that scenario learning, they use awk. Now, what you look at the tools they use in file investigation, you barely know all the commands to actually use to investigate a file. Now, if we want to look deeply into that same file again, based on what we are learning, now we want to alter the file. Now we ls.la, sorry, la grep3.txt. Okay, I want to actually change it from root file to do what? So there is a command called su shown. Sorry, let me be sure if I'm using the right command. Okay, sudo shown. Okay, sudo shown. Okay, this is what I want to do. So I want to change ownership and group of the file. So I want to I want to change ownership and group of the file. So from here, what do we understand? Who owns the file? What is the group? This is the owner of the file. This is the group of the file. So I can come here and say sudo shown. Sorry, maybe sure this command. I'm not really okay. It's hu root Kali. So what I've done is I have changed the owner of the file and the group of the file to what Kali. By the time you repeat the same, you see they are both changed to Kali. So if I want to change it back to root, I'll do what sudo shown root grep3.txt. So when you ls.la, you see it has been changed to grep3.txt. So I will screenshot this. Please play around it. So I think that's the first thing. So these are the intricate things we did not do at the first time. So you need, in case you want to, you met a file, you want to execute a file, and it actually not in the root form. You can change it from ordinary file, make it an executable file by actually changing it to the root. So you can practice around this. Then this was changing both the user and the group. changing the owner so you can practice around that. Please, can you do that and actually send your screenshot, please? Nobody's actually sending screenshot. Can you do that and send your screenshot? Hello, are you guys hearing me? Okay, please do that and send. Or is there a delay? It's like I'm all alone here. Please do this and send. This is how you actually change user file. You change them. So when you have a file, there's a lot you can now do about it. You can manipulate the file. You can change now. You're looking at changing the permissions. You can change the permissions. You can move it from non-executable to, you can actually restrict access to it. So those are what we actually want to treat in a nutshell. These little parts we need not cover in the first training before we move to something more deep. No, the problem you have is that your the stuff is already in Kali and you are changing to Kali. So you are not doing anything. You are supposed to actually change to root. It's supposed to be sudo shown root.root.txt. txt dot I are you with me? So what I'm supposed to do is what? Sudo, I'm supposed to do sudo shown root text.txt. You are in Kali. There's no way you can actually change to Kali. That's what you're supposed to do. That was why you are. Can you try that, Mr. Yusuf? So, Mr. Chukuma, I think. Let me see. Okay, I think you are doing the right thing. That's the right thing to do. So, please, if you are following or you just want to look at it, but it's best you actually play around this stuff so that it actually sticks with your finger. Okay, we move to the one where you can only change the user. So we have sudo change group. So three commands will do. I think we've actually learned this change mode. Then we looked at sudo chown. Then we looked at, So, okay. Okay, there are three commands. The first one is so that I just type it so that we don't waste time. If you are changing user group, so if you are changing user group, just only sit, you pick what. So if we do what, so that we label it very well. For my example, so this is the what user. This is the what the user group. Hello, this is what the user. This is the first one. Let me screenshot so that we can get it clearly. One is user owner, sorry, two is user group. So if you want to change owner only, what command do we use? Then if you want to change both owner and user group, what command do we use? Now if you want to change only the user group, what command do we use? So I will do three of them. Now if you want to change only the owner, sudo shown kali grep.txt. Now, with this, we have changed the owner. By the time you ls.la grep3.txt, you see that the owner of the file has changed to Kali. The owner of the file has changed to Kali, while the group is still what? Yeah, you did not. My brother, you actually looked at the directory called desktop, not a file. We are only treating file level now. You see that in the front of your ls.la, you do not add anything. That's supposed to be ls.la olorunmi.txt. So I don't know if I've answered your question. If you type that command alone, it will treat everything, Mr. Solomon. You treat everything in that directory. So let me snap this. Now, this one is we are changing the owner only. We are changing the owner. So the former owner was what? Sorry. The former owner was root. The former owner was root. Now we change the owner to what? Kali. Now the owner has become Kali. So I'll copy this. I'll paste here. Example of what? Of changing the owner of a file. So now we look at changing both the owner and the user group. Now the owner has been changed, but the user group, if you want to change the owner and the user group, so we come here. Let me clear ls. Sorry, clear. So ls/la grep3.txt. So from here we can see that the owner is Kali, the user group is root. So if I want to change both the owner and the user group, I can say sudo. I want to alternate it. Then we have root. Then we have Kali grep3. So when you ls/la I've changed the owner to root. I've changed the user group to Kali. So let's see if I'm correct. Are you saying so you can manipulate any file the way you want to? Now, if I want to change the user group only to what root, so let's take this one. So this example is what changing both user group and owner and user group together. So if we are changing only the user group, I think it's so if we are changing only the user group, if we are happy with that, I will clear with ls.la. So sudo so when you ls, it has changed back to root. So we've covered three topics just now. So that's basically what this is the aspect of file permission. So we look at all other ones as we are moving. So this is only changing the user group of the file. Copy. So let me see you do this first before we move to my manipulating file permission. So please just give me 1 minute. Let me get cold water, please. Oh, Mr. Jesukwemi. Sorry, what network are you guys using? Let's talk about the internet, because if we are having it this way, we might have problems. We might have problems with the main training. What network exactly are you guys looking out for? Or what network are you using? Because if you cannot log in, we are not many. Well, the infrastructure is because you are logging to a system, but in the other part, you are logging into a content delivery network because it's already hosted in the cloud. So as many people can actually access that. So if you log in into the content delivery network, are you getting it? So that is what you'll be logging in the cloud. So the CDN over this area is actually very strong. So, but here you're logging into a laptop. So I try to wonder if the bandwidth we have is not enough. Okay. Mr. Solomon, you keep making the mistake. It is not ls.la. When you say ls.la, you are actually looking at the old directory. Like if I say ls.la, I'm looking at all these files here. It's because you don't have so much on your now. But if you are saying ls, a specific file, you must list the file in front of it. I hope you understand now. That is when you can see the properties of that particular. Have you seen your mistake? So you don't know whether what you did actually was executed or not until you actually put the file in front of the command. So please, I'm sure this is a walkover for most of us. That is actually why we are not pasting it, because I feel you know it, but when it keeps accumulating, it becomes so big. So the last thing we want to do, I think that's that, Mr. Bolao. So change want to actually do what when we ls.la, let's play around this so that we get it clearly. So you change mode, you change mode 123 grep3.txt. So you can actually, sorry, you can ls.la grep3 so that you can see. Are you seeing it? So are you seeing it? How you can manipulate the group, the owner. I hope we still understand what this means. You understand? So what you are seeing here, maybe I didn't explain it this way. This is the group attribute, the owner, the owner attribute, the group, then others. So if you are changing root to Kali, that means Kali now cannot read, write, and execute. Root can now what read, write, and execute. Others can what read, write, and execute. That is actually what it means. One belongs to owner, two belongs to group, three belongs to what others. I hope we still understand and remember this clearly. So you can change both the what the group, the owner, and you can change their attributes. You can restrict the rights to it too. So I hope you understand. So with this, I don't if you can remember this particular. So with this, you can actually change to whatsoever you want to. You can combine whatsoever you want to combine. So I think you can do with this, you actually have to change to and combine whatsoever you want to combine. Hello? At this point, we'll take a pause. Let me know if you have any question.
Hello, Mr.
Sorry?
Ikem.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So when do we become a common user and a super user? I'm trying to bring that.
Okay. Please, it's good we actually ask questions, because when you come back to ask me questions, it's a function that I am not communicating and you don't understand. Sorry. I don't understand that question, Mrs. Grace. One meaning what? What does say one there means? The one, you mean the 111? I'm not seeing that clearly. Let me see. Where did you see one? Okay, let me first take your question. I believe that question is from Mr. Chukuma, right? So now, if you look at this very well, what is here? This last block, I actually explained this way. I said this is one, this is two, this is three, then this is four. This place is four. Now your one is your what? Your username. Two is what? The terminal. Three is your current directory. Four is the user type. Now, when you see hashtags here, you mean you are a super user. That's your root. Now, when you see dollar, it means what? You are a normal user. I don't know if I've answered your question. Now, let me change to normal user. So if I change Kali, you see that it has changed to dollars. What you have there is now dollars, not what? Hashtag. So, so I just move for what? Super user to what? Normal user. One, two, three, four. Copy. Is that what you came here to learn? You've asked me this question over and over again, that how do we unveil the user password? How do we unveil the user password? How do we unveil the user password? There's no money in cracking people's password. I don't know if they told you that. The whole idea of this training, where is one? Okay, all right. Um, come back to this particular come back to this particular diagram. Sorry, I don't know if it's this one. No, not this one. So because we've learned a lot today. Now, one, what it means is this, so that let me draw it well. Maybe it's becoming convincing. So if you look at it this way, so so if you look at it this way, so it's because we did change mode 777. That is why it gives us what? RXW, RXW, RXW. Now, if we say ls dot la grep 3.
So I
Now
still in Cali.
I'm still in Cali. I'm still in Cali as a what? As a normal user, but I can change to root. SU what? Root. Change user root. He asked me for my password. I type password. You should be able to do all these things conveniently at this stage, please. Then if you're not doing it conveniently, we have a problem. Now, back to our question. If I do ls /la grep3 .txt. Now, what is dash dash? So if I want to change to what? 777, change mode 777 grep3 .txt. So when you come back and actually do that, you see it has changed back. So what it simply means is this. If you have seen my screen, 7 represents read write executable. Now, if we change to 666, you see that we change read write dash. That is what it will give you. If you change this thing to what? 666 grep3.txt. So these are file permission. You are only just changing them. Are you seeing it? Now, 1 is equals to what? Are you asking what the 1 here means? It's showing you the amount of the file. I don't know if that's what you are asking. If it's 1 here that you're asking, it's showing you the amount of the file. So you can see ls/lh so that you can investigate further. grep3. Okay, grep3. I don't know what your question exactly your question is. So it's showing that it only has 1 file, the size of the file, the date, and the time. So if that is your question, I don't know if I've answered your question, Mrs. Gray. Because if you ls.lh here, you will not see 1 on desktop. You see what? A lot of files. It contains a lot of files. Are you seeing it 140 in all? Are you seeing? So I don't know if anybody has another question. Sorry, please, if you have further questions, you can let me know before we move to the next topic. Okay, I'll address that. I just want to get out some documents on. I want to get out some documents I have on process so that we can actually see some stuff on process. So simple. Let's come back here. It's supposed to work like magic in your hand now. I'm in root. I want to switch user to I want to switch user to what? Um I have Kali. Switch user to Kali. Now, normally automatically it switches. If I want to move from here, I think I have another one called Uche. I have another user I created called Uche. It will show, ask me the password. I have my password. So you just type the password, it will not print. You understand? I want to switch user to Solomon. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Mr. Solomon. Okay. So your question is for what purpose we switch owner to group user in between Kali and root? Okay. Just one minute, please. I'll answer that question now. So basically, if you are actually working with some level of stuff, there are some things you cannot do with a file if you are executing it, if it's not in the root form. You understand? So if you actually want to actually run some files, you have to change them in the root form. Most especially if it's an executable file and it's a on a script. Now let's clear so that we can actually address that once and for all. So now let's start with a batch file. If I ls here on the desktop, I have some batch files. Like this, my grep stream 2. So if I ls.la grep stream 2 .sh, you can only know when you investigate. As you can see, it's a read-write executable file, and both are actually what in the root format. Now let's change the owner and stuff to actually Kali. Let's see what happens. The owner of the file and the group. You understand? Let's change it. Sudo the best way to learn is to actually experiment it. So when you ls.la, you need to. So you see, they are both in Kali. Now, let's actually execute batch grep stream2.sh. So it's still running. If I say grep3.txt, I hope we all can remember this script. Then 192. Good, clear. So it shows you that now if we now know grep stream 2.sh. So from what I've taught you so far, what is bin.batch on any file so that you can answer your question from the basis of your knowledge base now. What is bin.batch? We are trying to actually treat Mr. Solomon's question, and I don't want to answer him so that from your knowledge base, answer the question with what you know. Now, when you declare a file like this, bin.bat, what does it mean? It means your what? Your login shell. Now, Control X. Let me see the dot dot. So if we do something, cat etc. So sorry. So can we still remember all this? This actually shell. Yeah, no, it's not declaring the kernel. You are declaring the shell. Okay, Abdurrahman Atakiyode, they call it the shell. Sorry, I think we should look at something. Windows D. So it's good we look now. We look very wide. Let me clear so that you can see there is a command you use to bring that out. Okay, when you cut, it's a shell. There are shells. Now, when you say shells, it brings out all the commands. Are you seeing all the shells? Now, where are all these things located? So there's nothing you're looking for. That is where your bin.bash came out. That is where everything came out. Now, all these things are located here. Let's come back to this place. Etsy. What did you cut? Etsy the what? Shells. So Etsy over what? Under Etsy file. Are you seeing shells there? Before syslog.conf. Now let's locate it. Are you seeing it? So those are the shells. So you have the excuse me. Everything is here. So if you understand it from this point of view, there's nothing you see that actually now going back to your question, you're asking why do you change from one user to the other user? So if you are talking from your current knowledge base, I don't know if you guys, please, if you are following me, let me know. Etsy. Now, if you are following me, because those particular stuff are under the shell file. They're inside the shell file. So the shell is actually under Etsy. So when you come there, you declare the shell, telling the system that this is particular kernel you want to use. Are you getting it? So there are lots of them. So when you cut, we are cut shells because you're already in Etsy. Are you seeing what is bringing out? So we have bin dot batch, we have user dot bin dot batch. So you see, that is actually how you navigate. Understanding it to this depth makes you actually, now coming back to what he was asking. Coming back to what he was asking, he was asking, why do we change from one user group to the other group? It's simple. When you actually see they call it file manipulation. So if we do ls/la, this was where we were before. I want to throw the question open to the house. He's asking, why do we manipulate? So he's asking, why do we, the owner of the file is what? Root. The group is what? Root. Now, if I come here, let me go to my documents so that I feel I will not answer that question. I will just allow you guys to answer it. If I go to properties, this is what you are asking me. Now, if I go to security, are you seeing group? Are you seeing permission? I don't know. Am I technically answering your question? You're only trying to restrict access. That is what you are trying to do. So it's the same thing you do here. Have I answered your question? We change. So you do it to restrict, gain access and restrict access. So that is it. So I don't want to be you. I want to, as you are learning, you start thinking about what you're doing. So it's the same thing you do here on Windows. That is what you are now doing here on Kali Linux. But the only difference is that you are doing it what? I wish I can actually take a file from here, put it. I think the best thing to do, let me see what I can do. Okay, good. Good. Now let's do something. So let's create a text file here. So that you can see it. Just write something there. I do what? Save as on the desktop. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. I save it as ikem, or sorry, uche 1000. Save. So let's come here. Let's look at the properties. Uche 1000. The security on it is what? So let's pick it from here. Copy. Let's come to this place. Paste. So we have Uche 1000 now in our terminal. Let's come back to this place. I'm finding a more practical way to explain it to you. I think this is it. Now we are now on desktop. Let's ls-la uche 1000.txt. Are you saying now? Do you? Yes. Now that is it. I want to make it more. No. That is that is now, that is when you are executing a file, Mr. Solomon. Just follow this example. I created this text file in the Windows. I brought it here. Now let's do the first thing we do. let's change the mode first. Let's make it an executable file first. Read write executable uche1000.txt. Now let's ls.la. Now good. Let me change mode. Sorry, sudo tone. So I've changed the user. Now let me come back here to desktop, pick it, copy, Windows D. Let me go to another environment, then paste here. So let's look at the properties. So previous version. Okay, it doesn't work on Windows. I actually just want to see if it work on Windows. So Mr. Solomon, the simple answer to your question is you actually change all these things to actually restrict access, but I don't think it works. It switched between Kali Linux, Kali and Windows. I just wanted to use a more practical example. So you use it to gain access and restrict access, mostly if the file is an executable file. Now, always remember your goal as a what? As a cybersecurity personnel. Now, what exactly do you need a file for? Depending on what the file is. Some file actually might be carrying what we call a backdoor. That means the file is executable. Now, by clicking on it only, it has activated, you understand, the content in it. So for it to be actually have that now, like this file, you see it's an executable, it's an executable. So when I just come here, you will not know. When I get to the desktop, I just click on it like this. It has activated what we call a command and control center at the back. It's running in the background. Now, it is used as what? As a backdoor on your system. So anytime you open the system or you mistakenly just open the system, it starts the system down. So they leave it at what? Executable. Now, when this file was imported, it was not executable. So now, if you want to, now one of the reasons is what? Restrict access, gain access. They can use it for what? Is it malicious activity? So by the time you start getting to creating backdoor, it's either a text file or a JPG or a JPG file. You might just see a picture file, you just click on it. You understand? It has activated something already in the background, depending on what has been written in it. So leaving it executable. So one of the reasons why you change the mode is that once you click on it on the Windows platform, it starts running on the background. I don't know if I answer now. That is for the access mode. Now that is for the attributes. Are you getting it? That's the read write executable. That is why it should be what? An executable file. Now for the root owner and the group, it's actually to restrict access. It's for gaining access and restricting access. So I don't know if I've answered your question, so that we move to the next issue for the day. We are open to questions, so that we treat this once and for all and we finalize it. We're not coming back to this again. Mr. Solomon, please indicate if I've answered your question. Okay, all right. Um, let's look at something else today. We did not take it in depth the other time, but I want us to actually look at it. They call it process manipulation. So so to BG, okay. We did not actually take all this. So what this means is if you come here, I don't know if you are seeing my screen. So this is my tax manager will be starting. I don't, so this is what you are looking at. This you are seeing on my screen is actually what you are, I don't, this you are seeing is what you are looking at. I don't know why it logged out. So that is what you are looking at. That command is for top. So we are looking at process manipulation. Now, I think the next time we'll be looking at how to set up an FTP file, an Apache file, and some other files from the Linux command. We do not setting up some web server already from what your Linux command. Now, this is what is happening on your system. This is what is going on. So I don't know if you know what is the meaning of PID. Okay, good. It's process ID. So those are the amount of processes. We can actually look at it more better from the Windows angle. So as you can see, it shows you all the process ongoing. Let me see. Ongoing on the all you open on as you all you open are all processes. So how they actually take the CPU and the memory, the disk and the network bandwidth. So those are all you are seeing. The CPU usage, the memory usage. So those are all you're seeing here. Tax, running, sleeping, stopped, zombie. So top 2 days, one user, load, average. So this is actually how you actually check that. The command is for top. So if I control C, I clear. So let's look at PS. So we can go up and actually look at it clearly. Hello, somebody wants to ask a question. Like I'm hearing somebody saying something. Sorry, our office, I don't know if you are hearing the sound. Our office is just behind Ikoyi Club. So on Friday nights like this, they always play music. So sorry about that, please. So we are looking at what process. We've not taken this before. I think I should screenshot here and actually just share it with you. So after this, we've taken a detailed, in-depth dive into what Kali Linux. So anything we're taking after now is actually advanced and in-depth. So this, with all this, you should be able to actually what create a user, set up a user, manipulate files, change the files. You understand clearly. That is what we're doing. So can you play around with this command? At least they snap your screen and send to me. This is where we stop for the night. Then when we come back the next time we're looking at Linux, we're looking at it from an advanced point of view. Then we look at comprehensive for 1 or 2 weeks before we now move into comprehensive batch scripting and Linux hacking. This is where we stop. So you can manipulate a process now, like when you set up, you know, on your Linux now, you have not set up any FTP server, any Apache server. You have not hosted any server. Now, Adibi, you have hosted server. Once you type FG, it will show you current server running. When you start BG, it will stop it. Are you getting? So that's that. So you can actually play around it and actually get that, add that to your arsenal. And I need to use the restroom. I'm coming. Yeah, just do it and actually please share your screen. So we've come to a place today. So let me know if you have any question. Um, please. We are actually taking feedbacks. How you see the lectures? You understand how the assimilation. This actually, yeah, more like, okay. We are taking some feedbacks. Let's know what you feel about um the training, and definitely we send it out to everybody. We send it out to everybody. So we share the script, the lecture script. Now you've, I think this week you've run through all the lessons for this week. At this stage, because moving forward, when you are taking trainings, they expect you to be able to do these things. So if you don't understand it, you will not, as basic as they are, you will not be able to actually catch up with the training. So it should be magic in your hand. So when somebody is talking about process command, I was looking at the file hierarchy. Your mind should be moving at the maps of those particular stuff. If he's saying I'm trying to access the Etsy password file, you actually know the family tree that brings it out. So you are building the mindset to know what to do. So when the person is doing exploitation, you can follow up in his mind. So this foundation part is very key. One, two, take time to look at the scenario training so that you can follow up. That basic scenario training does not have so much stuff in it to do. So you can actually follow up with what they are doing. It doesn't have much to do. So it's basic so that you can follow up and understand it clearly. I think the only part we've not done, you did not see this Shark. Net I'm trying to remember, is it T Shark or network Shark? Which we can look at in the next class. So from this point, I want to know, so far we have taken essentials of Kali Linux this week. We've to look at basic. I didn't take basic Kali Linux command because I feel we all know it. So these are the basic command which we already been using. Host name, print working directory. We already have done all those, except you want me to come back and actually do a refresher. That's why I didn't bother actually took echo and all those stuff. Or do you want to actually refresh your memory on it? Because we have treated basic Linux command here over and over again, and that is what you have been using. So I feel what you actually could not get at this, that is what I'm trying to actually add to it. So we might look at PowerShell at this point. We look at batch scripting. So those are the, we'll go in depth so that when you leave this particular pre-simulator training, you have everything you need to actually, it's handy, it's within your fingers. So basic things like creating user, switching user, changing, those are things you should have. You should be able to actually navigate it this way. You want actually want to look at the hash. You know where the hash is. Clear. You want to cut. Let me see if we can get to this place from here. Okay. Where is this file, please? How do we get to this auth.log? Is it under Etsy or it's under which file? It's under var. So if I change directly back, so sorry. Did you guys see what I so it's high time we step it up. I just moved with one line, I got to that place. So it's high time we step it up. So when you actually are doing it, it shows clearly. So you see, you only know this by actually playing with that. That particular I file hierarchy is actually still the. You need to actually have it in your head, like what a dictionary. I'll repeat this step. Let me move back. Let's see if I can go back home directly. If I'm going back, I'll be going back dot dot. Oh, CD dot dot. Okay. Supposed to be good. Okay. Indirectly log. Sorry, I just want to get a one line statement that can actually take me cd dot dot log var dot log. It brings me directly here. What's happening? Clear. Sorry guys, just want to play around this thing. Wow, dot log. Whatever. This is the last time I'm going to actually do it. I used to do dot dot. Aha, this is it. So we're missing something. There's one dot dot before it gets to, and this is it. So let me get back to it. CD forward slash root. So this is actually what was, so it's supposed to be cd dot dot forward slash var forward slash log. So it's supposed to be cd forward slash var forward slash dot dot forward slash root. Okay, that's it. So this is it. This is what I was trying to get. This is how you move in one. So we might look at complex movement like this. So that's what I was trying to actually get out. So if you want to move directly from home in root down to that log file, this is how you move. Then if you want to come back, this is how you come back. So we will be looking at more complex stuff in the other trainings. So far so good this week. You've covered all the essentials. You now know how to manipulate both any file in any way you want to do it. You understand? You understand that I'm actually currently working as a super user, not as a what normal user. You now have to change password. You now have to now what I think what we've not looked at. Yes, I don't think so. Let's give it a try. Oh, oh, okay. I'm just seeing that now. I'm just seeing that now. But normally the complex part is this var /dot/root. So it brings you back straight. That's the route. So let's clear. We'll be looking at more complex stuff. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I will upload the video and share with everybody. So we'll be looking at more complex stuff in Kali Linux next week. So taking into cognizance from we have taken the look of the profile of the people, the very length of the people who actually are here. While some are just starting, some are already actually experts in this stuff. So they are waiting for us to actually switch gear so that they can start enjoying the training. Now, from what you've seen so far up to now, please, you can actually just share your experience on the training with me personally. So we might develop a Google form. You just write, fill it, and actually share with us, please. It helps us actually improve what we do. You can fill it on Sunday. Take your time and fill it on Sunday before we come back on Monday. So I'll pause here. If anybody has a question, we are taking the second class of Python tomorrow. By next week, we should be coding seriously. And I think after the Easter, we should have moved to Python hacking. I think I have one I already did here. Let me see. Okay. Okay, clear. Okay, I've done one. Let me Python 3. I did them all at different stages. So this is a basic port scanner. So we looked at it from different points. So can you guys do NS lookup from your end? Can you do NS lookup on any website? Do you know how to do it? Okay, what this particular script does is that it looks to see for port, automatically scan port. Because if you ever have to do anything, like you logged in, it was because the port 22 was open. You remember the day we did SSH from one particular system? Okay, I've even forgotten that we actually do secure shell login. Now, now this is actually building your own Nmap scanner. You understand? This how. So now, if you are actually doing a secure shell login, what we do here is train you to actually build your own tool so that you can manipulate it on your own. You understand what is working on the background. So can you guys do NS lookup, and actually do NS lookup on any website? This is how they do it. Let me just okay. Let me do it here. So I think I have the last one I did 162.0.209.87. 162.0.209.87. So if I come here, 162.209.0.87. Sorry, you are saying something. What happened here? Port 80 is closed. It wasn't running. It's supposed to run. So that's the first instance. Now, when you take Python 3, port scanner 1, there's a reason why is that slow. So you see, this one is faster. So there's a reason why that one was slow. So am I sure? You do NX lookup on actually a you do NX lookup on a website. We're not doing Nmap yet, Mr. Gbolahon. When we get to doing Nmap, we actually treat Nmap. You understand? We are treating how to actually create your own tools using Python. Nmap actually has some limits. So if you don't actually learn this from the scratch, you might have a problem. So this is actually another way of, so these are the things we'll be looking at. This is just basics. These are basics. So scanning through all the, you're able to develop this on your own. So when you look at what this script, um, gedit, Python, sorry. So it's a simple straight. So we'll take all those. I think from now to next weekend, you should have finished everything you need. So working from this angle builds your mind a complex mindset. So when you see something running, you understand what is wrong with it and what is not wrong with it. Now, like when they tell you that they attacked a website and they actually freezed the data, they cannot access it again. What are you thinking as a programmer? Where are you thinking that they pass through? So if you can build something like this, you are only dependent on a command like nmap, or maybe the software they've used you. So the hackers have bypassed the software. So if you don't understand what is running on the ground, you will not be able to mitigate the risk. Are you seeing the reason why they train you from building a tool? So that even if you are using any customized tool, Nmap is a customized tool on Kali Linux, but it does what the port scanner does. So if somebody bypasses it, from here, you've imported sock. Sock gives you connection to the internet. You've actually declared variables of socket. You've actually, to connect to the internet, you've actually declared what you imported a socket.connect. You set your timeline so that it's scanning at what? 5 seconds. Less than 1 second is scanning. Are you getting it? You understand how you actually declare your port, what it prints out. So when somebody now comes to actually, you understand, it gives you to understand what the hacker's mindset, the track, they call it what is vector, the hacker's vector. Are you getting it? That is why you learn from. Ordinarily, if there's no need, we'll just teach you the commands and you go your way. But so that when somebody asks you, you understand what is working from the background, what is making this command to work. You've built something like it. I hope you understand. Do you now understand me, Mr. Gbolahon? So if you are thinking, how will that hacker would have hacked into that website and they take control of the whole website? You understand? How did they get access into it? Have you done, okay, did they, you understand? That is why we train you to actually, ordinarily, we'll just come here and give you commands, you just go. But if you build scripts like this from the scratch, you understand? It gives you an idea. I don't know how many of you apply for the Sterling Bank loan. You understand? From your basic knowledge of programming, what do you think is happening? When the program is calculating yours, it is because it was not programmed to actually calculate the total revenue per month and what it divides it into 6. It has been programmed to actually take a 30-day revenue and actually look at the amount of inflow. And why is simply because people have used that other algorithm of collating total revenue over 6 months. They've used it to dupe the bank. So the only way there can be this thing, there can be assurance that revenue comes in is they take it monthly. But there would have been, if so and so, else if revenue, you understand, that it you are training yourself in designing how the tools work. Now when you start thinking like that, you start understanding what the hacker is looking for. And how we definitely, you should know that if he wants to get through, I've told you that was a Nigerian this thing. So for sites who host credentials, now why they would have hacked into that website is because it hosts credentials online. Now the people who hosted the website have not learned to evacuate their credentials online to what. So when you start attacking, so you now know that what are you really looking for. Now like from Nmap, you will not get the banner. You will look from here, you will learn how to actually exploit the banner. From the banner, you know which of those banners that actually is exploitable, have some level of vulnerabilities. You will learn it in developing. This is just one stage. All you are doing now is actually showing you what the port that is open, the port that is closed. Now you can still add more code. It shows you that this port is open and so banner, they call it banner grabber. This banner is there. By the time you look at the banner, you check online, maybe there are some vulnerabilities on it you can exploit. Are you getting it? Now, if it's a banner that has a username and password, which particular Nmap cannot do, you will now include what? A clear password so that it rolls it over it, and actually you will see all that. You will now see the limits, the limited capability of Nmap and what this port scanner can do. It can be extended to have multifunctional capabilities. But Nmap has been developed, it's one time and finished. So you see, that's why it's good. From this stage, you have an open mind to build your own tool. So I think we'll take a pause here. It's good you people show us, you start talking so that we know you are talking. Then from where you are talking, we start building up. Are you getting it? So that is why it's good to build from this. If you've listened to any senior, when you go to Black Hat Asia, Black Hat UK, Black Hat California, this is what they do. They teach you how to build skills from scratch. The higher you go, the better. You understand? I just don't want to tell you that the email delivery might be an attack, because one of the ways offensive attack work is they are not actually attacking you. They can go and attack your infrastructure. If the infrastructure is actually a main capability of your function, once they paralyze the infrastructure, your services are paralyzed. It's actually an attack. Do you now know it? So if we rely on a particular content delivery on the cloud, maybe an Amazon web, the offensive team can go and attack that particular part if they want your service paralyzed for days. If they've seen that they cannot actually, so it's a war front. For the civilians, it's more like maybe you come to office and work, but in the military, it's a fourth domain. Like you have the land, the air, the sea. So the attack can come from anywhere. So the more bird eyes view you have in terms of technical capability, the more you are able to give advisory. If I think I've shown you guys a script like this. This for an advisory for the bank. Very comprehensive. So you can see it's not just it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be done. So basically, what concerns your part is maybe password cracking. The guy who is talking about password cracking is just an aspect of it. It's a lot of work. You understand? So that's why I'm trying to actually expose you to the what is actually the threat landscape, what the people in the industry are scared of. That is why they hire you. So if you have that multi capability, that's why we make the course very comprehensive. So you should be able to actually look at them and give them advice. The bank actually have so many vulnerabilities. First, their own enterprise solution, then the end users. You understand? The air interface. You understand? So the air interface between their application. So there's a lot of ways, a lot of penetration now at the end user interface. You understand how people bypass it to actually gain access to their own enterprise solution. So all those people who steal your phone, and before you know it, they've used a receiving SIM card to start removing your money. It's still cybersecurity. That's at the end user level. So it's a very broad VAPT for enterprise vulnerability assessment penetration test. It's a profession on its own. This single statement you are seeing can go as $1.5 million to actually perform it for one bank. It might take them 6 months to actually finish the contract, depending on what the scope of work. So let's calm down and learn it. Over time, you build capacity. Then when you work for 10 or 15 years, you go to CISO, you want to come out, you've seen different aspects of experience, you want to come out and become a consultant. It's a gradual process, but this is how it starts. You will not be a very good CISO if you cannot develop your own script. So you are starting from the right position. So thanks for coming around once more. We'll continue from here tomorrow. If you can't get the stuff this night, before noon tomorrow, you should have gotten the video and everything. But I'll start downloading it immediately. So thanks all for coming, and I look forward to meet you tomorrow, same time for the Python training.